you pause YouTube? Hopefully y'all are having a good day today, and I got for you guys a Yu-Yu battle against TPC Pro. Now looking at my team, I got a Victini. Not an ordinary Victini, no. I got Choice Banded Victini. Now look at my opponent's team. What appreciates taking 2 V creates, let alone 1? Nothing. That means my best lead and the best Pokemon in this battle is obviously going to be Victini, because this thing is going to be destroying lives. Now looking at potential threats on my opponent's team, him on top and Xatu might prove to be a bit of an issue just because he could prevent me from getting up my hazards. Also, Darmanitan, if he is Life Orbed, is going to be doing a good chunk of damage to my team. Then Raikou being Scarfed outspeeds my whole team. Well, even if he was Specs, he would still outspeed my whole team. But yeah, anyways, I'll lead off with Victini as it leads off with the Bronzong. Right off the bat, I'm going to go straight for the V-Crate. Even if he switches in Darmanitan, I can easily 2-hit KO that. If he switches in him on top, I can 2-hit KO that as well. Which means there's really nothing he can get a free switch into this thing once I go for the V-Crate. And I easily get rid of the Bronzong, which means I do not have to worry about him getting up Stealth Rocks later on in the battle as he brings in the Raikou. Thinking that he's probably Scarfed, he's going to be able to outspeed me. Even if he wasn't and he was Specs, he would get off a great deal of damage on my Victini. So either way, I do want to switch out as he actually predicts me to bring in the Roserade, seeing as that was the best switch into Raikou, because if he went for Hidden Power Ice and I brought in my Melodic, that would have been a bad play. Or if he went for Thunderbolt and I brought in Gliscor, that would have been bad for him. So I leave in Roserade knowing that the U-turn is very obvious, and he does end up going for it as it reveals to be Life Orb, which means this Darmanitan is going to be putting in work as well. And he actually U-turns out into the Xatu, which is actually the reason why I went for the Sludge Bomb instead of going for a free layer of Spikes. Luckily for me, I'm actually able to get the 30% poison, which means I will be able to bring this Xatu down to a range where I can easily 2-hit KO him. He doesn't end up going for the possible Nightshade or Psyshock, and he instead goes for the Wish as he brings in the Darmanitan. Obviously, I know this turn is going to go for the Flare Blitz, and because he did go for the Wish, this means that this thing is practically going to be back up to full HP after going for this Flare Blitz. And I'm max defense, max HP, and I just intimidated that thing. That's an easy 2-hit KO. Good lord, Darmanitan. Fuck it, Victini's still stronger. What? Get at me. Okay. I'm gonna go for the Sucker Punch just to get a bit of damage off on the Darmanitan before it finishes me off with one final Flare Blitz. As this turn, I can freely bring in Victini, and here I make a bit of a dumb play. I should have just gone straight for the V-Crate instead of going for the U-turn, seeing as the amount of HP that Darmanitan was at, I would have been able to finish him off as well. Luckily, I pulled the crit, which I'm not too sure how much it matters later on in the battle. You guys could be the judge of that. As I bring in my Roserade, basically as Death Fodder, he goes for his own U-turn, and he's going to switch into the Raikou. At this point, I don't really need my Roserade just because he does still have Hitmontop around. He's going to be able to easily rapid spin my hatches away if I do get them up. But once he finishes off my Roserade, I can get a free switch out into my Victini and just destroy something with the V-Crate, or just go for the U-turn, which I actually decided to go for the U-turn on the off chance that maybe he brought in Hitmontop. I want to be able to U-turn out into my Gligar, Toxic, and then go from there, but instead he ends up bringing in Umbreon, which either way, I'm going to bring in my Gligar just because Umbreon really cannot touch Gligar whatsoever. Foul Play is going to be doing nothing. I can Toxic Umbreon, even if he tries to synchronize it over, I have immunity. So yeah, Gligar easily one of the best check/counters to Umbreon in my opinion. After I get on my rocks, he's going to bring in him on top, and I actually do predict that, and I go for the Toxic. Now because I do have my rocks up and Darmanitan is at such low HP, the Rapid Spin is very obvious. So what I'm going to do is actually switch into my Phony Flygon, which should not be shiny, it should be regular, due to the fact that Tony likes shiny Flygon, which is why this is called Phony Flygon. But yeah, anyways, I have Substitute, I have max HP, and I have Leftovers, and I know some of you are headbanging right now calling me stupid, but this is actually a really fun set. It's Hone Claws, Substitute, Roost, and Dragon Tail. Yes, it's stupid, but if used correctly, this thing can do some work, and hopefully I can have a good battle with this Flygon. Anyways, seeing as the Toxic is racking up and I keep going for the Substitute, he actually ends up bringing in the Umbreon. Now because of the way he brought it in, I know he's either going to go for the Foul Play or go for the Heal Bell. So on the off chance that he does go for Foul Play, I don't want to have my Substitute broken, then waste even more HP as I go for another one, and instead I go straight for the Dragon Tail. As he actually ends up going for the Wish, I Dragon Tail him out to the Hitmontop, and due to the fact that Darmanitan is at such low HP, and after the Wish, he's going to be back up to almost full, I do not go for the Dragon Tail, and I instead go for another Hone Claws, because they don't want to risk the chance of me Dragon Tailing him out into the Darmanitan. And because he went for, I believe, 2 close combats after this one being at -2 defense and me being at +2 attack, I thought that this Dragon Tail would have been able to finish him off. Unfortunately, that isn't the case, and I Dragon Tail him out into the Raikou. And at this point, I know he's more than likely going to go for the Hidden Power Ice, seeing as I really have no use for my Flygon. So I'm going to be that guy and bring in a Water type on an Electric type, expecting them to go for the Hidden Power Ice, which thankfully for me he does. And because he is locked into the Hidden Power Ice, I know he's going to be forced to switch out, which means I can pull a switch out into my Victini. And at this point, nothing on his team is going to be living this V-Crate, so something is about to get incinerated. As he decides to leave an Umbreon, I guess it is the most expendable thing on his team. He's going to bring in the Hitmontop, and because the second punch is very obvious, I decided to bring in my Gligar, but he actually predicts that and actually pulls a double switch out into Darmanitan. And obviously, because Gligar is bulky as all hell, even though Darmanitan hits like a truck, I really have no reason to switch out, as he actually ends up over-predicting and goes for the superpower. I actually ended up misclicking on the Earthquake. Obviously, I wanted to go for the Roost, but yeah, nothing I can do about it now. He's going to bring in the Raikou. The Hidden Power Ice is so obvious, I actually decide to leave in Gligar. Thankfully for me, he actually over-predicts, and I'm able to get off a good chunk of damage with the Earthquake, which means he's going to switch out to Hitmontop, which means I'm going to pull a double switch out to my Victini, and yeah, I can easily go for the V-Crate, but because I do actually have the Bolt Strike, I decided to go for that as well, considering that both the Hitmontop and the Raikou are at low enough HP to where a Choice Banded Bolt Strike will be able to finish them off, and that's going to be the victory in my favor. So yeah, I don't know why I was so excited in this battle. It could be due to the fact that I am at 4,000 subscribers. Man, thank you guys. Thank you everybody who supports me. You guys are phenomenal. Hopefully something epic will be happening in the next 2 weeks. Be on the lookout for that, guys. But yeah, hopefully you did enjoy the battle. Leave a like, leave a comment, subscribe, do whatever you want, guys. Just continue showing me support. Please enjoy the rest of your day. And I do believe I am out of here, guys. I hope you continue to enjoy my content. Later.